Hey there, math friends. Guess what? We're working on lesson 5.5 today, so welcome back. We are lesson 5.5, so make sure you write that at the top of the page in your math notebook. And today we are going to be taking a look at the point-slope form of a linear equation. Now, of course, remember when we did slope-intercept? Well, it was called slope-intercept because you used the slope and the y-intercept in the equation. Point-slope form means we're going to use a point that's on the line and the slope as part of the equation. So let's get started. Now, we already learned one strategy to write a linear equation when given the slope and a point on the line. Remember, we would substitute the x and y points into the slope-intercept form to find the y-intercept. All right. Well, this one we're going to learn a different way that uses the point-slope form. So let's find out how the point-slope form kind of came to be, all right? Now, here's this line, right? We see this line on the graph, all right? Now, we are going to write the equation of the line seen in the graph below, and we're going to use the points 2, 5, right there, and xy. We don't know those points. I mean, we can see what they are, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So we are going to use the slope formula to write an expression for the slope of the line. So remember, slope formula, folks, that is m equals y sub 1 y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. That's the slope. Now we're going to substitute the values that we see on the graph. So y sub 2 is, we can see here, is just the y, so y minus y sub 1, which is 5, and x sub 2 is right there, it's just x, minus x sub 1, which is 2. So the slope so far is y minus 5 over x minus 2. All right, now if we look at the graph, we can clearly see what the slope actually is, because starting from this point here, let's use a different color. Starting from this point here, we go up 2 and to the right 3, giving us a slope of 2/3. M equals 2 over 3. So since that is the case in the graph, now we can actually substitute y minus 5 over x minus 2 for 2/3. So we can write that equation. Y minus 5 over x minus 2 equals 2 over 3. Now, because of that, now we want to simplify this equation. So check this out. I'm going to multiply both sides by the, I'm going to rewrite this real quick here. Yep, did you see how quick that was? Anyway, so now I'm going to multiply both sides by the x minus 2, because I want to get rid of that from the bottom of that side. So these two will cancel each other out, leaving me with y minus 5 equaling 2/3 times x minus 2. Now that, my friends, right there, this is the point-slope form of a line. And the point-slope form of a line looks like this. We take the, and it's down here, and we highlight it for you. You take y minus one of your y points equals the slope multiplied by the quantity x minus one of your x points. Now notice that they're both, it's y1 and x1. That is the point-slope form. So if I were you right now, at the top right hand of your paper, in your math notebook, the top right hand, that would be, somewhere in this area right here, I would write this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. That's the point-slope form of an equation. That way, when you're searching for it later, you'll be able to find it because it'll be at the top right-hand corner of that page. Anyway, that's for any non-vertical line that passes through a given point. Because, and remember, non-vertical lines have no slope. Slope is undefined. All right, now that we know what the point-slope form is, we're going to use it. we're going to use the crud out of it. All right, so we're going to write an equation of the line that is shown here. See this line here? We have a point at -3, 6 and another point at 1, -2. First things first, let's find that slope. So remember, slope y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, so y2 is -2 minus 6 over x2, which is 1, subtract -3, which is x1 there. Okay, there we are. So -2 minus 6, remember we are adding the opposite, so that is -2 plus -6, which makes -8. And down here, 1 minus -3, that would be 1 plus the opposite of -3, which is positive. So 1 plus 3 is 4. So -8 over 4 simplifies. -8 divided by +4 is -2. So we have a slope of -2 using the slope formula. Okay, now we're going to use that slope and one of the points to write it in point-slope form. Okay, so remember, point slope y minus y sub 1 equals m times the quantity x minus x sub 1. All right, here we go. Y minus 6 equals the slope, which is -2, times x minus -3. Now, the only thing wrong with this is we've got this x minus -3, so we're going to clean that up. So this would be -2 times x plus 3, because we're adding the opposite. So that's why that's x plus 3, and over here, y minus 6. So that is in point-slope form. All the parts are there. Now, what we can do if we want to, we could actually convert this into slope-intercept if we wanted to, which that would be cool. So that means we would just have to do some algebra here. So this would still be, y minus 6. -2 times x is -2x, and -2 times +3 is -6. And if I were to add 6 to both sides to get that y by itself, those would cancel out, and this would equal y equals -2x plus 0, which is just y equals -2x. Slope-intercept form of that same line. Yay! All right. Now let's try it without the graph. We're going to write an equation of a line that passes through -5, 10 and -4, -2. So let's go. Slope equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, y2 is -2, y1 is 10. x2 is -4 minus x1 is -5. So this would be -2 minus 10. Let's see, -2 minus 10. We're adding the opposite. So that's -12 over, let's see, adding the opposite. So -4 plus +5 is +1. So -12 over 1, which is just -12. So the slope is -12. Now we're going to use the slope and one of those points to write the point-slope form. So remember, y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Point-slope form. The y stays y. y1 is 10. The slope is -12 times x, and x sub 1 is -5. All right, now we're going to clean that up a bit. Y minus 10 equals -12. Remember, we are adding the opposite when we subtract. That's going to be x plus 5. And that's in point-slope form. Now, if we wanted to, again, we could change this into slope-intercept simply by distributing the -12. So y minus 10 equals -12 times x is -12x, and -12 times +5 is -60. We get the y by itself over here, so I'm going to add 10 to both sides. Those cancel out. And in slope-intercept form, I get y equals negative 12x minus 50. So here we had point slope, and here we have slope-intercept. Great. Now, sometimes it's even easier when you're just given the slope and a point on the line. So look at this. This is how easy is that? We've got that point, we've got the slope. So point-slope form. Remember point-slope form. Y minus y sub 1 equals the slope times x minus x sub 1. You'll notice that I write that every time. Well, and there's a reason for that, because I want to make sure that I remember it. So anyway, y minus 2 equals the slope, which is negative 5, times x minus negative 6. Now we have to clean that up because we've got all that subtraction going on. So negative 5 times x plus 6, because we are adding the opposite of negative 6. All right. Now, of course, if we really wanted to, we could convert this from point-slope form, point-slope. We can make this into slope-intercept simply by multiplying the negative 5 into everything into there. We're distributing, so y minus 2 over here. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times positive 6 is negative 30. And now we add 2 to both sides to get that y by itself. And y equals negative 5x minus 28. Slope-intercept. So, not that you always have to convert it into slope-intercept, but it's always good to know how. All right, so we got point-slope, slope-intercept, lots of good stuff. Now here is your practice work for today. Lesson 5.5, practice. Of course, you can find this in the slide where you found this video, but it's right here. Pause the video, write it all down. Have a great day, folks. Don't forget to be awesome. Keep on mathin', and I will see you next time.